Falcon 9 soars again. SpaceX launches Starlink satellites from California and sticks sea landing. In the stillness of the pre-dawn California air, the hum of anticipation grew to a roar as SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket ignited and tore through the early morning sky on May 12, 2025. Launched from Space Launch Complex 4E at Vandenberg Space Force Base, a site steeped in decades of U.S. aerospace history. This mission was more than just another orbital delivery. It was the latest chapter in SpaceX's ambitious plan to blanket Earth with low-latency, high-speed broadband coverage through its ever-expanding Starlink satellite constellation. The thunderous liftoff, witnessed by locals and livestream viewers around the world, was a reminder of how far commercial spaceflight has evolved, with routine launches now driving revolutionary outcomes for global communications, science, and humanity's future in space. The Falcon 9 lifted off at exactly 3:17 a.m. local time, with its 9 Merlin 1D engines generating 1.7 million pounds of thrust to propel the rocket into the dark sky above California's rugged central coast. Within minutes, the rocket passed through Max Q, the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure, signifying its structural resilience as it powered toward orbit. The mission, designated Starlink Group 7 to 9, carried 22 Starlink V2 mini satellites, each designed with enhanced antenna arrays, upgraded propulsion systems, and inter-satellite laser links enabling rapid data transfer and more autonomous network management. As the rocket's first stage completed its portion of the mission, it separated and began a complex and carefully choreographed descent to a waiting drone ship stationed hundreds of miles downrange in the Pacific Ocean. The landing was a technical marvel, and yet, thanks to SpaceX, it's become a familiar sight. 8 minutes after liftoff, with its titanium grid fins deployed and engines firing for a controlled re-entry and deceleration, the first stage booster touched down softly on the deck of course, I Still Love You, SpaceX's autonomous drone ship. The ship, bobbing in the Pacific swells, served as the perfect perch for the booster's 13th successful landing. This milestone reinforced SpaceX's confidence in the Falcon 9's reusability, a cornerstone of its business model and a disruptive force in the aerospace industry. Each reused booster dramatically cuts costs, enabling a launch tempo previously unimaginable and making access to space more sustainable. The upper stage of the Falcon 9, meanwhile, pressed on toward orbit. Propelled by a single vacuum-optimized Merlin engine, the stage performed a precise orbital insertion burn to deploy the Starlink satellites into their planned orbits. The payload fairing, jettisoned early in the flight, fell back to Earth for recovery and reuse, another testament to the company's commitment to sustainable and economical spaceflight. Approximately an hour after launch, confirmation came from SpaceX engineers that all 22 satellites had been successfully deployed. Over the coming days, the V2 minis will use their onboard Hall effect thrusters to slowly raise their orbits and join the operational Starlink constellation, which now comprises over 6,200 satellites. The V2 minis represent a generational leap in Starlink technology. Unlike the earlier version 1.5 models, these satellites offer 4 times the bandwidth and better power efficiency. Designed to serve denser population centers and increase total network throughput, the V2 minis also serve as testbeds for technologies that will eventually be used in full-sized Starlink V2 satellites to be launched aboard the Starship vehicle in the future. Each satellite is equipped with multiple phased array antennas and boasts improved thermal control systems, allowing them to handle increased data loads while remaining operational in the harsh conditions of space. Laser interlinks enable data to bypass ground stations entirely, allowing the constellation to relay information across vast distances in near real time, a critical capability for remote and mobile applications. This mission also demonstrated the strategic importance of Vandenberg Space Force Base, one of only a few launch sites globally that can support polar and sun-synchronous orbits without major trajectory adjustments. These high-inclination orbits allow for greater coverage at higher latitudes, benefiting users in places like Canada, Scandinavia, Alaska, and Antarctica. As SpaceX seeks to globalize Starlink's reach, these launches are essential for achieving consistent coverage across every continent, including underserved regions where conventional terrestrial infrastructure is either absent or unreliable. Beyond the technological prowess on display, the mission carries deep geopolitical and economic implications. Starlink is increasingly seen not just as a commercial venture, but as a strategic asset. During recent global conflicts and natural disasters, Starlink has provided crucial communication capabilities in areas where terrestrial networks were destroyed or unavailable. From the front lines of Ukraine to humanitarian efforts in sub-Saharan Africa and the Pacific Islands, Starlink terminals have become lifelines. As SpaceX continues to deploy more satellites, the constellation's redundancy and resilience increase, making it harder to disrupt and more capable of surviving targeted interference or natural disruptions. An attribute not lost on governments and militaries around the world. The business side of Starlink is just as significant. As of Q2 2025, the service has amassed over 3 million subscribers globally, including individual households, maritime fleets, airlines, and enterprise users. Revenue from Starlink is projected to exceed $10 billion annually, forming a critical part of SpaceX's broader financial strategy. The company has made clear that income from Starlink will directly fund the development of Starship and Mars colonization plans. This vertically integrated model, where commercial internet service supports deep space ambitions, is unprecedented in aerospace history and reflects SpaceX's holistic approach to both near-Earth and interplanetary operations. The May 12th launch also underscores a broader paradigm shift: the normalization of spaceflight. What was once the domain of government agencies and billion-dollar contracts is now being conducted with the frequency and reliability of a commercial airline. SpaceX has single-handedly increased global launch capacity, pushing legacy aerospace firms and emerging players alike to accelerate their development timelines and rethink their strategies. The ripple effects are being felt across industries. Satellite manufacturing is becoming more modular and mass-producible. Telecommunications companies are redesigning infrastructure to integrate with space-based networks, and regulators worldwide are grappling with how to manage a sky increasingly filled with private spacecraft. Public enthusiasm for space remains high, bolstered by the visibility and success of missions like this. Viewership of SpaceX's launch live streams regularly reaches into the millions, while social media buzz, amateur astrophotography, and real-time satellite tracking apps have made every launch a global event. Educational outreach tied to Starlink and Falcon 9 has also expanded, with schools incorporating real-time mission data into STEM curricula and universities collaborating with SpaceX on satellite development and orbital mechanics. Even as the echoes of Falcon 9's engines faded into the morning, the implications of the May 12th mission continued to reverberate. In a world increasingly dependent on data, connectivity, and speed, Starlink is not just changing how people access the internet. It is redefining the infrastructure of the digital age. And as SpaceX continues its relentless march toward Mars, every launch like this is a brick in the road to a multiplanetary future. This wasn't just a launch. It was a reaffirmation of purpose. A booster returning to Earth isn't simply a marvel of engineering. It's a statement, a promise, a glimpse into a future where space is not an unreachable frontier, but a well-traveled highway. Falcon 9's flawless ascent, deployment, and return on May 12th was not only a success, it was a glimpse into the inevitable transformation of humanity's relationship with the cosmos. And as long as rockets roar from Earth into the sky, driven by human ambition and precision engineering, that future grows ever closer.